Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, X-Force issue number 17. Yeah. Sometimes I forget my books. It happens. Anyway, let's talk about who made this comic book. We'll get into this fantastic freaking issue. This issue is called The Thousand Deaths and One Life of Quentin Quire. Also, issue 17, Omega Reconsidered. Benjamin Percy is the writer. The artist is Joshua Cassara. Guru FX is the color artist, and the letterer is VC's Joe Caramagna. Tom Mueller does the design, and the cover art is by Joshua Cassara and Dean White, with Jonathan Hickman being the head of frickin' X. The first several pages of this book, of the many deaths of Quentin Quire, is freaking hysterical. I've mentioned many times that this is literally one of my favorite characters. He's my favorite young X character, him and Maggot. But honestly, I'd have to give it to Kid Omega over top of Maggot, just because like he's got so much more history to him. You know what I'm saying? Let's get a Maggot book. Let's get Maggot showing up front and center. You know what I'm saying? Kicking butt, taking names. Let's actually get that fight between him and Juggernaut, for crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, yeah, Quentin Quire, dude, this is my man's. So he wakes up, he's reminded because his girl, the cuckoo, is there, and she's like, hey. and he's back like, hey. And I'm over here like, hey. We get a new costume for Kid Omega in this. First off, the new costume, I'm going to admit, it's pretty cool. I'm going to miss seeing his typical thing where he's got like all these different shirts. That was mostly in the Thompson books where that happened. But I mean, this is just freaking hysterical. Like, the shirts were the best. You know, for crying out loud, Robot Man over in DC didn't have as many shirts as this kid. Nonetheless, I actually do like this new costume. Now, the best part of it is all the lead ups to the costumes, right? Too pouchy, too bad mentory, and all that stuff. Like, there's just some funny moments in here. Percy isn't clowning around with the jokes. I know it seems like an oxymoron, but no, I'm dead serious about it. And apparently so was he. He was like, this is going to be a funny book. This is going to make people laugh. And it worked. Absolutely did. The art in this book, I'm just saying, when you have this many different costume designs and a new actual costume design, bro, Kasara, he absolutely kills it. He was great for this book. It's one of those things where it's like, take a bow, you just redesign, or, what was it? Take a bow, you just rewrote our alma mater or something like that. You remember Lean on Me? Joe Clark said that. Morgan Freeman. Anyway, agreed. In this particular case, you just redesigned Quentin Quire, and let's go. And it's probably going to make it a whole lot easier to draw at the very least. But I like the idea that you get to see, like, the pink glasses and stuff like that. That's cool. It's badass. The white pages in here were very revealing, interesting. The Beast talks about is like, well, we can't exactly show them that our product doesn't give them mind control over the humans, but I mean, we could do that, but only in the absolute necessity would we do that. And nonetheless, it's like, dude, don't they know that you got this is like a QAnon thing. It's like you got Professor X and Cerebro, and just for the sake of conversation, all these other telepaths who could control everybody's mind if they really wanted to, you know? Why would you have to put in a drug? I mean, like, duh. Anyway, but probably one of the best white pages is the one with Quentin Quire. The five are talking about the resurrection protocols for X Force, since they've got priority. Um, all the stupid little adjustments, and the adjustments to the adjustments are great. You know that bottom one was about changing the size and length and girth and all that of his Winky. I'm saying, listen, let's be realistic. Who wouldn't want to do the exact same thing? And how is that not like the number one thing on the list? Because I'm gonna tell you flat out. All right, I personally don't really have any problems, but I'm looking at this and the opportunities, and it's like, wait, I can actually change stuff. Bro, I'm going with 28 inches. I want it to be like, I literally want to get bow legs from the weight of it and from it smacking on the inside of my knees. Like that, I want to be like I'm a freaking cowboy riding horses all day. My knees just, bloop, like that. Ah, who wouldn't want? I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong? So zero blame whatsoever on Quentin for this. Like, that is freaking hysterical. Everything else in this book, It was cool. Like there was some scary stuff in here too. The idea that Wolverine slashed somebody up, the idea that Colossus was there and put his thumbs through the woman's eyes. Like imagine that's the last thing you see is somebody actually putting their thumbs through your eyes. And it's Colossus. The dude's freaking huge and she's just, some little girl. Like imagine that it's not the little girl, but whatever, it's some woman, like smaller facial structure and everything than a man. Like you're talking about not just destroying someone's eyeballs, but actually like crushing their orbital bones and everything. Like, wow, that is freaking freaky. And everything that we saw in here. Now, when you get to the end of this book, you start to wonder, was he actually responsible for what he did? You know what I'm saying? Or for what happened? Like, was he a part of it? Because his psychic signature is on everything. Now, is his psychic signature on all the other stuff that happened too? Because that would be a really great way to turn X-Force against each other. Phoebe's there. She's going to figure out, like, why this happened, that happened, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But, like, I'm actually a little bit sad that she's not, like, jumping on and being a part of the team, his team at the very least, just for now. But they're not changing Quentin Quire, maybe his look, but they're not changing he in and of himself. He's still, I'm pretty much X-Force by myself anyways. Those other guys, I'm Omega. These guys are whatever. I mean, they're practically my sidekicks. Like, I love the level of narcissism on this guy. It's freaking perfect, So they're not changing the character in and of himself, and I really hope that they don't. I love the idea that he's so freaking cocky. It's ridiculous. Speaking of cocky, we see a cock at the end of this, the peacock, as it were. I'm not going to get into spoiler territory, but for the most part, aside from the very last page, not even the last page, but like the last half, the right half of the last page, there isn't really too much to spoil in this issue. It was just a really amazing issue where you're having fun. There's still a little bit of mystery there. Nothing's, necessarily being solved, but you see a bunch there. Also, Jumbo Carnation is in this. And him coming at you with a pair of scissors, it's like Edward Scissorhands. Imagine if he had like all four hands, had a pair of little freaking snippy scissors and whatnot, right? This was a fun issue. I genuinely enjoyed this issue. I'm sad I don't have the physical copy for it, but it's one of those books I'd have given away to charity anyway. So anyway, still really good stuff. Actually, and then again, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe this is a book that I should own because when you think about it, first appearance of his new costume, if this costume sticks for even like, a year, bang, automatically, guaranteed, done. So the book will probably be worth like $20, maybe $15 forever. You know what I'm saying? Is that a big deal? Not necessarily, but it is that thing that you could be like, and this issue is, so I'm saying. All right, guys, that's it for me. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.